Hey everybody, welcome back. Happy New Year, happy 2021. Oh my goodness, feels weird. Feels weird saying that. I hope that you had a good time over Christmas, over New Year, whatever that looked like to you. I hope that you and yours are well. This video, I'm gonna go through my goals for 2021. So I said in a previous video that I'm not setting New Year's resolutions, still not doing that. I see New Year's resolutions as being the habit forming, habit breaking, habit maintaining kind of goals. These are my concrete goals, things I want to achieve this year. So last year I had a lot of numbers based goals. They were all about hitting certain metrics, and I think last year is the last time that kind of goal setting will serve me. Maybe it will again in the future, but 2021, setting metrics for goals is not where my head is at by any means, which is a shame because I'm really into setting SMART goals so that there is a tangible, did I complete it or not? But just for my own, just keeping everything happy and not stressed and not doom and gloom in the sense of seeing internet analytics, I've decided not to create SMART goals in that way. And I can just subjectively judge whether or not I feel like I did those goals. So these goals to me feel a bit different than some other goals that I have set before, but it just reflects where I'm at right now. Right, instead of me explaining the context around these goals for the next 5 minutes, let's just dive in and I'll tell you what the goals are. Also, if you are setting goals this year for your career, for your life, then let us know in the comments. I would love to hear the things that you want to do this year. So my first goal is that I want to complete my sexuality educator certification course by the end of this year. So that is a deadline that I have set for myself. This one is a SMART goal. We love it. So I started in August last year with this school called ICE, the Institute for Sexuality Education and Enlightenment, and I'm doing their sexuality educator certification course. I'm mostly doing this just for my own professional development in terms of knowledge building and skill building, and also building a network of other sex educators. It's not something that I feel like I need a certification in order to do what I do, especially because they're an American organization. So most of the people that I work with, I'll be like, I'm a certified sex educator. And they'll be like, oh, great. Who certified you? And I'll say, and they'll be like, means nothing. And in the UK, there's no body, there's no governing body that approves you or not approves you for being able to do sex ed work. It just doesn't exist in the UK. I don't know whether it should or not, because then you get into gatekeepery territory in terms of who can do this job. But I'm hoping to get everything done by the end of this year. That's my goal. My next goal is another one that is a concrete thing that I'll be able just to tick off. I want to find a new artist for Sexy Scribbles. Sexy Scribbles is the sex and body positive colouring pages that I put in my newsletter every month, and for the last year I worked with Maddie and she created such amazing colouring pages. But a lot of my newsletter subscribers seem to really love the Sexy Scribbles thing, and at the end of 2020 I just did not have the time or capacity to be able to start the hunt and reach out to other illustrators and see who might want to work with me on the next batch of Sexy Scribbles pages. So that's something that I want to do at the beginning of this year. I'd love to find an illustrator who is already doing sex positive work, and I'd also love to potentially hire somebody who is from a marginalized background, say a queer illustrator for instance. So if that is you or somebody you know, please let me know in the comments, people's Instagram handles and stuff, and I will go and check them out and see, because I really want to continue Sexy Scribbles and I love the idea of passing it on to another artist every year or so. So that's something that I kind of want to do as soon as possible, really, because I don't want you lovely newsletter people who have signed up for the Sexy Scribbles to go too many months without a new one. If this is the first time you're hearing about Sexy Scribbles and you're like, hang on, I want to get all of the previous Sexy Scribbles pages, I got you. We created a digital colouring in book at the end of the year, and it's just £6 and you get 14 beautiful pages to color in with it, and I'll leave a link for that in the description. My next goal is kind of a silly one, and I basically wrote figure out TikTok/Reels, but then I also wrote figure out if I even want to figure them out. And I definitely wrote this goals list when I was having a bit of a crisis when it came to Reels and TikTok, because I was just like, all of the cool kids are doing this thing and I need to adapt on these platforms to make sure that I'm staying relevant. I hate that word. But since then, I have actually made a few Reels on Instagram and I really enjoyed it. However, I have no idea how people make the Reels inside the Instagram app, because I basically just like film clips on my phone and then I edit them in Final Cut and then export them and then upload them. Because honestly, if people are doing it in the app, kudos to you. I have no idea how to do that. I know how to edit in Final Cut, so that's how I'm doing it. Creating the TikTok Reels type of videos isn't something that I want to force. It isn't something that I want to put pressure on myself and like have a schedule for myself and being like, you're gonna do this many Reels, like this is the kind of content that you're gonna be making now, but just allowing myself like the freedom and the creative space where like if I'm like, oh, I would love to make a Reel out of that, then like I can. And that actually ties into a goal that we'll get to at the end. Long form video will always be my strength, but that doesn't mean I can't experiment with other kinds of formats. And that's definitely how I want to approach it, as an experiment and not as, oh, now I've got to make this other content in order for my work to reach people and for my work to be relevant and for my work to like do good. I just want it to be like, hey, let's have some fun and see what we can do. Also, so far, all of my Reels have not been like sex ed related. And I just really struggle with how nuanced the topic is. It's like, how do you say the things that you want to say in 30 seconds without like a million footnotes? Because like, oh, but not if you're this, but like not if you're this. And that kind of content is just like so punchy that my sex educator brain is just like, oh no, but also this, but then also this, but like not if you're this. And like, oh, but it's also okay if this. And so I haven't really done any sex ed Reels yet because that is just like spinning in my head. You know, I'm a long form content gal. She can just talk for ages. But the lifestyle kind of stuff and like the fashion and the clothes stuff, I'm like, this is fun. My next goal is to explore the idea of maybe moving into a separate office/studio. So this is something that I was really keen to do like in 2019, and honestly very glad that that didn't really happen because of then everything that 2020 was. But this is just something that I've been thinking about again. Right now we are in my office / the spare room / also Dan's office, because he's working from home a lot now these days too. And whilst I really love this room, the thing happened when you like grow into your space and suddenly the space is not big enough for its needs anymore. I'm also really into that work-life balance and the idea of having to like leave the house to go to the office. Ooh, spicy. Yes, please, says the person who's been alone for the past 12 months. Oh my God. So this is something that I want to explore in terms of how it would work, if it would work. Do I have the finances? Like, can I afford it? But I just love the idea of experimenting with a different kind of work environment and having a dedicated space for office, for filming videos, for photo shoots, for podcasting, for live streaming even. Just like, oh, I love the idea of designated areas. I mean, this is a designated area for filming, but I don't know. Oh, we'll see. My next goal, that is something that appears on my goal list basically every year, just worded slightly differently. We still never hit that perfect equilibrium. But my goal every year is just to find that sweet balance and have a better relationship with the YouTube and social media content creation machine. What does that look like? This is certainly not a SMART goal, and maybe that's why I've failed it every year. Or maybe you just never win. Maybe you can never win against the content creation machine without just quitting. So my current ideas for somehow getting a better relationship with the content creation machine are to make less, but spend more time actually creating the stuff? It hurts for many reasons. One, because I've just been so used to creating weekly content on both of my YouTube channels, and weekly is what I do, weekly is what I'm used to, it's what I know. And then two, I'm terrified of being punished by the algorithms if I post any less on YouTube or on Instagram. Like if I just decide, oh, I'm not gonna post for a while, and then it's just like, ha ha ha, we're not going to show your content to the people who like chose to follow you. Sad. Sucks to be you. And then the other thing that really comes up for me when it comes to maybe making less but spending more time on each individual piece of content is imposter syndrome. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. Like there is no way that I could create higher quality but less quantity content because I just can't. I'm not good enough. Like that is honestly where my head goes. Like I look at people who make like video essays and they do it once a month. I'm like, nah, I couldn't do that. And like, I know that I can't, and that's fine. But maybe there's like some kind of middle ground between what I'm currently doing that isn't quite that, because like in terms of just being able to research and write that kind of content, but also like the technical skills of producing that kind of content, I do not have those things, no. So maybe there's some kind of middle ground that I could find. And then my final thought around all of that is just to question, what is it that I actually enjoy making? Like, what do I have fun creating? Like, Hannah, have you ever thought to ask yourself that? So these are all things that I will be exploring, thinking about, trying to do this year. I don't know. Is this a 2021 goals video or is this a crisis video? Anyway, on a more positive note, my next goal is to continue to grow my Patreon and foster a wonderful, amazing community on my Patreon, aka the common room. 2020 was definitely a lesson for me that the rug can just be pulled up under you when it comes to finances and like brand deals and like other things that I might rely on, whereas Patreon is a constant. And I remember being on a call, like a webinar thing with Patreon, like near the beginning of lockdown in 2020. And one of the things that they said on the call in terms of their like analytics, when lockdown hit, they expected like overall patronage on the platform to drop. They expected a lot of people to pull out if their like personal financial situation was impacted. But actually what happened was there was an increase. And you're just like, what? And as a creator on the platform, I saw this too. I was like, oh, okay, my Patreon's probably going to go down because like a lot of people won't be able to afford it necessarily. But no, like literally lockdown hit and my Patreon like went up. And I was like, what is going on? But to me, what it shows is that people need the arts, people need education, people value creators. And I'm also part of the Patreon Creator Ambassador program at the moment, which I'd spoken about in previous videos and on Instagram a bit as well. But yeah, Patreon is just really important to me. It's important to my business, but it's also important to my community. And I think I spoke about this in other videos too, but it's just really great to have something that aligns with my community and my business, because sometimes there might be things like brand deals, for instance, when they serve my business and they serve my community, but sometimes they might not like overlap so perfectly. Like a brand deal might serve my business, but it might not like completely serve my community, whereas Patreon is something that like serves both at the same time, always. Like there's no caveat to that, like it will always serve both. So I'm wanting to continue to build and work on my Patreon this year. We did a Secret Santa last year, which was so fun. I wasn't involved in it, but I helped like organize it, and like the different community members in the Discord server opted in and sent each other gifts, which was so cool. And because people loved that so much, I'm thinking maybe we do like a summer gift exchange as well. And we've had like stickers and pins that I have sent to Patrons for the common room. And the next thing that I think I want to create is the common room bookmark. But again, at the end of last year, just did not have the capacity. So a bookmark will be something that I'm working on for the common room at the beginning of the year, which I think will be fun. And finally, my final goal. This is something that I'm really excited for, but also I don't know how practical it is or if I'll actually be able to do this. Maybe this one is actually more of a resolution because it is kind of like habit based. We will see. But it's related to what I was saying about TikTok and Reels in terms of giving myself creative time. I keep saying I have no idea how possible this is, but I'm the person who would make it possible. So it's just how much I care about this, how much I prioritize this goal. And it basically is taking half a day off every week and it just being like, this is a no obligation zone, but I just have to do something creative. It doesn't have to be creative related to my work, but maybe it is. Maybe I'm like, I want to like fiddle around with some of the camera settings on this camera and like see what I can do with it. Or maybe I'm like, I want to learn how to do that in Final Cut and I want to learn how to like do some more edity things. Or it could be painting. It could be making more resin coasters. It could be literally like anything. It could be like going outside and taking pictures of things. It could be making reels. I'm pretty sure the first reel that I made where I'm like wearing all of the different clothes that I rented, that took me like over an hour to make. And the only reason why I was able to make that was because I'd finished my work for the day and I still had like a few hours in the afternoon. And I was like, what do I do with this time? I was like, I've achieved everything that I wanted to do today. And I was like, I'll like see if I can experiment with like making a reel and we'll see what happens. So the only way that I can like really feel like I have the kind of freedom to experiment with different kinds of content or just to like get my creative juices flowing so that ideas generation is easier, or maybe I'm struggling with a video concept, like there's a topic that I really want to cover a video on, but I'm like, I don't know how best to do this in video form. Maybe during my free creative time, suddenly I'm like, of course I can do it like this, because when you allow yourself to just have that kind of creative freedom and carve out that time for yourself, that's when the ideas come. I can't just like be sitting at my desk and being like, okay, I need to figure out how I'm gonna make this video, and then just sit there and be like, come on ideas, come on. Like, that's not how it works. And I wrote about this in my newsletter where I was like, oh my God, creativity is like sexual desire. We want to just be like hit by inspiration, hit by sexual desire out of nowhere at random, like, oh my God, I have an idea. Oh my God, I want to have sex. But when in fact, the best way to want to have sex or to have a creative idea is to put yourself in the context in which that can happen. So the context in which to have like amazing, brand new creative ideas, just doing something creative, just like occupy your mind creatively, like just start doing something. You want to have sex? Start doing sexy things. Create the context in which your arousal and pleasure come first, and then desire will come after. Anyway, I had a whole epiphany about it and I wrote about it in my newsletter. And after I wrote that newsletter being like, oh my God, I've just finally like something has clicked, that was when I wrote this goal about taking half a day every week. No pressure, no obligations. And I totally get how lucky I am because I work for myself that I can just be like, I'm going to give myself half a day off just to have fun. But I honestly think it will help. If you've watched me for a while, you know that I have this whole identity crisis about being a creative person because I don't consider myself a creative person. But what I realize is that I'm not an artistic person, but I am creative because creativity is about problem solving. And I've realized that when I push through that barrier that I have of this imposter syndrome of like, oh, I'm not a creative person, when I actually push through that and like do something creative, like I have a really great time. Like I have so much fun. Even if what I'm making is shit. Right, I have rambled on for enough time now. So thank you so much for watching. Those are my 2021 goals. A bit weird. They're not SMART goals. I don't know what I'm doing. Let me know what your goals for the year are in the comments and maybe we can give each other lots of encouragement. Thanks so much for watching, and we are now back to regular weekly videos. For now, we shall see with the content creation machine. But for now, I will see you next week. Bye.